Hi, my name's Simon Bourne. I'm the founder of the Hand-Dyed Shoe Company, which was established in 2014 and is continuing to grow. We craft unique handmade shoes. Every single pair is made individually for the customer rather than mass production, and it's a really exciting and unique buying experience, so it's not your ordinary shoe shop. We don't siphon people through the door and stick some shoes on the feet and send them on their way. It's very much about coming in, relaxing. We take you through a fitting, we give you lots of education around shoes, we show you how to shoe shine, we talk to you about the nature of hand-dyed and what makes them so special, and of course there's the design consultation as well. So I don't think there's anything else like the Hand-Dyed Shoe Company out there, and that's why people should come here to buy their shoes. We're about uniqueness, and that's the underpinning thing of everything between the actual shoes themselves and the experience that you would have in buying them. As far as our perfect clients go, I love talking about demographics and customer profiling and things like that. We have a few different segments that we like to serve essentially. One is a successful business person or somebody who is successful within a business. We would very much say that they have good disposable incomes and they like to treat themselves, but they're not driving around in Ferraris and having a yacht in Marbella. It's just good ordinary people who work hard and enjoy living and treating themselves once in a while. So that's kind of one area. The other area is very much the wedding customer. I absolutely love the wedding customer because these aren't just an ordinary pair of shoes to them, it's sentimental, it's something that they're going to walk down the aisle with and have that huge celebration that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. So they're two really exciting demographics for us and people who we love to serve. I think one story that really strikes with me is a story last year where we created shoes for a groom and the father of the bride. And very sadly, the father of the bride was ill with cancer. And shortly after the wedding had passed away, and I received the most beautiful email from the bride afterwards, just sort of celebrating the shoes and how he felt on that day, giving his daughter away for the final time. And it was just it'll stay with us forever that those shoes weren't just a pair of shoes for him to wear for his daughter's wedding. They were a platform for almost a final goodbye, and I think that's a really sort of sad story, but also very beautiful for us to know that, and that was part of our legacy, if you like, and they're obviously very special, but also very sad day. From the other side of our demographic, there's so many stories with people who I remember. But the one who always comes to mind is Colin Elric, who was our first ever customer, and he kind of ticks those boxes of, very successful, has good disposable income, and enjoys life, likes to treat himself, likes to look after himself, but also has a very realist and human nature to him. And we've become good friends. But Colin was the first ever customer, has subsequently been a customer another 4 or 5 times, and he essentially started the Hand-Dyed Shoe Company, without that very first order. Who knows, perhaps I wouldn't have had the confidence to then go up to pursue order number 2 or number 3 and order number 1,500 which recently came in. So yeah, Colin Elric would be the other side. The business came about, it was, I can still remember the moment as if it was yesterday. I was sitting in the showroom of the original sofa company, which is a small business where I worked, and part of the furniture that we were crafting was heavily influenced by a company called Berluti, who make the most stunning Italian hand-dyed, fantastic, amazing shoes, and they retail about £4,000 or £5,000 a pair. So you can imagine how beautiful they are spectacular. And we were researching Berluti quite a lot because we were essentially copying those techniques to create beautiful furniture that looked like Berluti shoes, if that makes sense. And as I was doing this research, I think there was a yell from the workshop to Simon, can you give us a hand to clear the scraps of leather and just tidy the workshop coming to the end of the day. And as I went in there, we're filling bin bags full of offcuts, and I just thought, like, we could use these offcuts to make a pair of Berluti shoes, and I wouldn't have to pay £5,000 for them. And that was the almost the eureka moment. It was the moment where I went, well, how would I do that? And then the stories just evolved over the last 5 years, really, from that moment to finding developing the concept, finding manufacturing, finding a buying process, building a website, a logo, a brand and everything, and essentially what you see around us today. Yeah, the shoes have evolved massively over time. And the very, very first pair of hand-dyed shoes that I did were made in Borne by just a small-time shoemaker who we found online. He made the shoes out of the scraps of the sofas, sent them up to us, and we dyed them and fell apart quite quickly. Subsequently, we then found different supply chains and manufacturers from Spain to Asia to Italy, France, and obviously the UK as well. And we had lots of really bad samples, but almost with every sample that came along, they got better, and then I got more excited and I was more encouraged. We had 3 designs which we launched with: a brogue, a Chelsea boot and a whole cut shoe. And subsequently today we've now got 35 different designs which we retail. And that's really exciting for me, so I can continuously create now because we've built the infrastructure that allows us to be able to have the trust that the product is fantastic. So yeah, it's been a massive journey. I think when we talk about journey, you know, we're going from 2014, which was an idea, to 2019, 5 years later, as we sit here, and it's just been a whirlwind of emotions, of success and failure. You know, in 2016, that was my most difficult year, where I became quite ill because of stress of essentially trying to build this idea and take it to that next level, but not knowing how to. And within not knowing how to became debt, and taking more finance and to keep going. And at some point you've got to kind of find a cut off and say, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm gonna go and get more debt to continue it. Looking back at it, like, I have no idea why I continued, because everything was bleak and looking quite bleak, and subsequently that's why the stresses were there. But I did, and I'm now obviously so pleased that I did, and I persisted and I got through it. In 2017, we essentially started trading truly as a limited company, and that was a real sort of celebratory moment when we became limited. It meant that the business is now serious in my mind, that we have overcome those dramas of the previous years, and that we now had a product that I was excited about and confident in, and that I felt that I could take to market. 2017, we really established ourselves. 2018, we built on that, and that was my first full year not employed and running the business separately. I was full-time on the business, and now here in 2019 has been a great success, and we continue to flourish. I think there was an element of the customer stories that kept me going. I think the thing that truly kept me going though was my stubbornness and impatience almost. It's funny when I talk about 2014, 2019, that feels like a long time. That feels like, oh my goodness, five years of thinking about this project and this idea. And I think stubbornness and impatience almost were, while it is negative and it's not particularly healthy, they are the things that ultimately saw me overcome the objections and the reasons to stop. Like, I can't stop because I'm so stubborn, and I can't accept that my idea is not going to work. And I knew I was onto something. I knew I was on a journey to creating something that I thought that people would be interested in. I've always believed in myself in terms of my ability to create, and this was an opportunity that I just couldn't let go. It was my route to becoming self-employed, and my route to becoming my own boss, and my route to be able to cut the strings from corporate world where creativity is quite often stifled, and that's what kept me going really, was that I just need to make this work. I have to see it through. I think one of the things that really got me through the difficulties was the desire to feed uniqueness almost to the world. And you know, we say it quite often that we are changing the way the world buys shoes, and that statement is more than just a sales statement. It's about how it makes people feel when they have a pair of unique shoes or a pair of bespoke shoes. I completely felt trapped by the corporate world, and the strings were very much attached to my arms and my shoulders, and my creativity was stifled. And I feel like that is quite a lot of the world these days, particularly around the UK and America and places like that. And I think what my business does is it allows people to just let loose a little bit and express themselves. And in the phrase "be unique," it's about just being you and just and having something that is you above anything else. And whether that's footwear or a blazer that nobody else has, I really sort of understand that feeling. It's something that I crave quite a lot, and I feel that my customers crave quite a lot. So yeah, every time there's a pair of shoes sold, it's not about whether it's black or red. It's about how that individual will wear them and what that means to them. I think the corporate world, it's not just England, it's all around the world. Everywhere's trying to make money, everywhere's trying to survive, everywhere's trying to build and grow. And I think that my business really has helped reach those people, as I've said, that are craving that little bit of them and that little bit of expression and individuality. We've got shoes that are delivered in Dubai and all around the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, all around Europe, and America. And I think that the reason for that is exactly that. It's like people see this business as a little way of just going, well, that's me, and I want that, and I want to be this person, and I want a really nice pair of shoes, but I also want them to be me. And I think that's what you can't get from other shoe brands. You are buying the same as whatever's come off a production line, whereas the Hand-Dyed Shoe Company, it's not a production line. The only thing that's on production line is your pair of shoes, and the next pair will be completely different from your pair. And I think that's why we've managed to reach people all around the world and ultimately, export this really exciting and unique brand. It really doesn't matter whether you're walking into a boardroom or down the aisle, because it's about what's on you. Those shoes represent you, and I get so much feedback from customers to say that not. I was stopped in the street and people ask me about where I got my shoes from. The feedback is always like, I feel, and that's the bit that really sort of gets me excited. Is that I feel like $1 million on my wedding day. I feel confident going into that interview or that boardroom meeting. Confidence is so out there, isn't it? And it's so trapped, and people are always craving to be more confident. Well, having something like this product, it helps that. It really can't not help that, because it's a little bit of you, and if you feel a little bit of you, a little bit more of you, then you're obviously going to project that, and I think that's again another reason why people come to the Hand-Dyed Shoe Company. I think the Shoes and Snooze, our unique overnight experience, it's extraordinary. In fact, it's totally unique and different to anything else that I think any brand will be doing, yet alone a shoe brand. We invite our clients to come to this fantastic historical site where we're based, to relax, to get into the mind of creativity and choice. They come along with your partner, have an overnight stay, and then come to their design consultation, which will be that hour-long fitting and education and everything else. It's not an ordinary shoe buying experience. It's so unique, it's so personal and individual. And I think that's what we're all about. Whether it's black brogues or multicoloured crocodile embossed Chelsea boots, that's what we're about. We want to extract that creativity from you, the client, and I think Shoes and Snooze, or indeed just a design consultation, does that perfectly. And we look forward to welcoming you.